A very warm welcome to you all who have spared your time on this Sunday for this webinar. And I welcome you all with a very warm heart. This webinar I have organized because I wanted to share with you something that I have experienced as a dietitian, practically handling my clients post the first lockdown, basically. There has been so much done, so much talked about, about this COVID thing and nutrition. I think I will not go into the details of what is COVID and what are the precautions we have to take, because I think each one of us is so aware of all these things right now, right? So, straight away, I'll be talking about the one most important thing that we have realized during this COVID era, that how important it is to keep ourselves healthy and how important it is to keep ourselves going on with the right nutrition, right? So, uh, I'll be starting now. So, how important is nutrition? It's not just during the COVID era, but nutrition has always been important, because when you will nourish your body from inside, only then you can help your body to flourish, right? So, when you're giving your body the right nutrition, you are actually helping your body to improve the overall well being. Right nutrition plays a great role in helping you fight with diseases and also to recover from those diseases, right? It has proven scientific benefits, So it is very important that during this COVID scenario, we take extra care of our nutrition. In case of COVID scenario also, when we are providing our body the right nutrition, that helps our body to create an environment in which our immune system is able to respond to a challenge irrespective of the nature with a higher strength, right? And if we consider in India, like the state of malnutrition in India, it is way high. And most importantly, I would mention here that India is not only dealing with undernutrition, but it is also dealing with overnutrition. So it is kind of a dual burden that India is experiencing. And it's not only among the children, even among the adults. As you can see the stats on the slide, almost equal number of women, men, they are undernourished and overweight in India. So it becomes over the more important that they take care of their nutritional needs more, right? So I think with the COVID scenario, all of us, many people, and I have also been working with so many people, they have really overdid few of the things like haldi wala doodh and detoxes like lemon water, right? And kadhas. See, if all my, there might be some fellow dietitians also who are listening to this webinar. I think we all have dealt with one or two persons who have had an overdose of kadhas, like 4 or 5 cups a day, and landed up with, high blood pressures and liver issues, right? So, what is my point here? I want to explain that one glass of haldi milk and one glass of a detox drink or a lemon water is not going to build your immunity in a day, right? You need to strengthen your immunity with consistent efforts, daily efforts put together to help you yourself become a healthier being, right? And for that, balanced approach comes in. Okay. Now, balanced approach, the top priority, as a dietitian, I would always say the top priority is nutrition, right? A perfect balance of carbohydrates, proteins, fats, vitamins, minerals, and water, right? But all these things, having said that, right, I would say that these things would not work if the last four, these things are not in tune, right? That is your stress, your physical activity level, the quality of sleep you are having, and how healthy is your gut. You can put all the best exotic foods available in the world into your gut, but whether they are being absorbed, whether they are helping you heal, is not possible if you're having an imbalance in your gut, right? So just few points about nutrition, and then I'll cover the later things. So when we're talking about carbs, we always say that you should prefer whole and complex carbohydrates as compared to refined carbs. Why? Because complex carbs, they come with an additional amount of fiber, right, which is lacking in the sugars, right? Now you might have heard that many people say avoid sugar, avoid sugar, avoid sugar, right? But what is the reason why we say so? That is important to know. So here I'm going to explain why you need to lower your sugar intake, especially the refined sugar intake. When we eat a very high, sugar loaded snack or anything like which is loaded with sugar, what happens? It causes a sharp rise in your blood glucose, your blood sugar rises, right? This rise in blood sugar, it also releases insulin in your body, because insulin is the hormone which is involved with glucose metabolism. But more than that, many people, they don't know that insulin is an energy conserving hormone. The more the sugar it is, the more insulin will be released, and all the extra sugar is going to be converted into fat and stored into your body, right? And what would happen post that? A big release of insulin will eventually bring your sugar level down. You will feel fatigued, you will feel hunger, and then you will crave for more sugar. So, in that way, it becomes an addiction, right? It is a vicious cycle. That's why we always say that limit the intake of sugar, because we don't want you to become victims of this sugar addiction. Secondly, when we are talking about COVID specifically, when we are talking about, every food ingredient, food group, carbohydrate, proteins, fats, they have a different respiratory quotient. Respiratory quotient is the ratio of carbon dioxide produced to oxygen consumed, right? And in case of simple carbs, carbohydrates, the respiratory quotient is the maximum. So in kind of any respiratory illness, it is not meant for all respiratory illnesses, but for few lung infections, we always advise that you should lower the intake of simple sugars, because they will lead to carbon dioxide accumulation, right? So this is the second reason why you have to cut down on your sugar intake. Now, where we usually munch on sugar things, that is snacking, right? Mostly the sugar laden things, we munch on chocolates, we candies, ice creams, when we need a snack, right? So I'll give you an idea that what a snack should look like. A healthy snack should look like somewhat like this, right? Raw veggies, some high fiber crackers with some protein and healthy fat, right? And here are few other combinations just to give an idea how you can inculcate healthy snacking in your lifestyle, right? Homemade bhel puri is a very good snack, okay? If you're not adding that extra sugar syrup into it. Sprouts chart with lots of fruits added to it. Cucumber sandwiches, where the sandwich filling can be yogurt, it can be cottage cheese, and some cookies which are not store bought, which you have made on your own at your home. I think these snacking, if you'll include healthy snacks in your diet, majority of the sugar from your diet will be cut down, right? The second important thing is the proteins, right? Now, proteins, they are of two types, complete and incomplete. Now, those people who are non-vegetarians, they are actually having complete sources of protein, right? But the vegetarians and the vegans these days, they are increasing in numbers, right? So they need to take care that they are having proper proteins in their diet, and how they can actually make their incomplete proteins into complete, right? Our body actually cannot synthesize few essential amino acids, right? And those we get from diet, and the foods that give them those amino acids are said to be complete. And most of vegetarian food sources are incomplete. So how we can make them complete? Again, I have quoted an example to help you guys better understand. So there is oatmeal when cooked with dairy, and then you add a little amount of almonds that gives you a complete protein. Then khichdi, which is a combination of a carb and a dal, right? That makes it a complete protein. Beans and rice, and then there is dalia khichdi, in which dalia is cooked with veggies as well as dal, legumes, right? So these are the examples of complete protein. So you have to add these proteins in your diet. If you're following a vegetarian diet, make sure that you are consuming complete proteins, right? And when coming to fats, okay, many of the times I have seen people come to me and they say, ma'am, we cook food in olive oil. We don't use any other oil, right? But see, olive oil has a very low smoking point, especially the virgin and the extra virgin olive oils. They are not meant for, tadkas and all for frying thing. They're not meant for that. You can use these oils only in cold dressings, right? In your salads, in your cold dishes, but they need not to be heated. So whenever you are using heat, make use of saturated fats, but otherwise consume the healthier fats, right? In form of nuts. Also, you can add extra virgin olive oil to your salads. So find ways to inculcate good healthy fats in your diet. So I think when we are talking about COVID, right, this is one point I'll be stopping almost the nutrition thing and I'll start the next thing from the other slides. But this is something which are we usually recommending people during COVID, especially those people who are struggling with COVID, right? Many of you might have seen in your family, relatives, people going through this, right? So during a COVID diet, you should always take care that you have to avoid any kind of raw foods, unpasteurized foods, and not use the leftovers older than 48 hours. I would ideally say not use that over 24 hours, right? So what is the basic principle behind that? It is that already the body is weak, right? It is showing a heightened immune response, and we don't want to expose our body to further infections, okay? And these food items, okay, they may give you an extra infection, right? So we want to avoid that. And you should always go for thick skinned fresh fruits and vegetables, like, right? If you are using apples or pears which have a thin skin, that I would advise pressure cook it one with one whistle and then consume, right? And don't consume nuts which come in loose packaging. Always use the nuts which come in commercially packaged, sterilized packaging. Now this is, I think, something basically what my purpose is here to organize this webinar. This is what I want to talk about, guys. Right nutrition is topping the list. I know that it's the foremost thing, but right nutrition will not work until you have other factors in synchronization, right? The first thing is your gut health, okay? If your gut health is not right, your body is not going to absorb the nutrition you are going to feed it, okay? So when you're working on your gut health, you're actually healing your hormones, you're actually reducing the inflammation, helping your body absorb more nutrients, lowering the risk of diseases, anxiety, and depression, which is very important. We all know that our bodies, we have a brain over here, right? But we don't know that we have a brain in our gut also, that is called the enteric nervous system. And we need to take care of that nervous system also if we want to be healthy, right? Any kind of stress that you're dealing with directly affects your gut health. And if your gut health is not right, your brain is going to be affected. So these two things are interlinked. They depend on each other, right? And a lot of things matter when we are talking about gut health. Many of the things are individualized. They're person to person. I can't tell you the supplements what are good, because that would be depending upon a particular person. What is his lifestyle, what his body type needs. But one thing which you can start right away is mastering the art of chewing. This is one thing which is gonna help you to restore your gut balance. Okay, many of the times we see people are just gulping down food so fast, right? They're just gulping down and they are not letting their body feel that they are eating, right? So you should always eat your food in a relaxed state of mind so that your body, your can send proper signals to your brain and proper digestive enzymes are released in your body to digest that food, right? So this is one thing I want all of you to start from today itself. Now, when you'll be having the next snack, when you'll be having the next lunch now, you have to take care that you have to chew your food properly, right? The next is physical activity. I think we all know how important it is, physical activity. We all know how it is important for cardiac health, how it is important for making our brain calm, how it is important for blood pressure issues. It also helps in weight loss. But one thing which research has proven is that some amount of physical activity can actually modulate the microbiota in your gut. That means it also helps you to heal your gut, right? There can be an imbalance of bacteria in your gut, you know, good bacteria, bad bacteria, versus there's always a fight between these two. And the kind of foods we give them, that decides which one is going to top the list, right? So amount of physical activity will help you to improve your gut balance also. The next important determinant is your sleep. Yes, sleep is extremely vital foundation for good health and well-being. It's not something that I'm telling you just, you know, because, you know, but it is something which I have really experienced, okay, myself also. So when you are giving yourself proper hours of sleep, that actually shows on your mental health as well, on your mood as well, right? So according to the recommendations, the young adults and adults, I think most of the people who are listening to this webinar, which fall under this category. So 7 to 9 hours of sleep is very important for your good health and overall well-being. And when we talk about sleep, there is a timing of sleep also that matters. And you know, this was a very nice quote that I got from the net, and I thought I have to put it in my PPT, right? We are biological beings. We are not smartphones. We are not computers, and we need to be in touch with the rhythms of nature. And when I say that we need to be in touch with the rhythms of nature, that means we need to synchronize our circadian rhythm, right? So if those of you who have been following in me on my social media handles, I recently created a poll on this, that how many of you know the term circadian rhythm? And almost 45% of the people haven't heard about the term. They don't know what is circadian rhythm, right? So what is basically circadian rhythm? It is actually how our bodies are programmed according to the rotation of Earth, according to the day and night cycle, how our bodies are programmed to work, right? Before the midnight strikes in, the melatonin hormone in your body starts releasing, which is very important for a sound sleep. And in the wee hours of the morning, this melatonin release stops. Now, those who are actually sleeping, you know, post midnight, somehow the hormonal imbalance starts from this, right? And we have seen so many cases of hormonal balance these days are increasing, right? Whether it is PCOS or thyroid or many other issues which are concerned with hormones, they are on the rise. But you can actually work according to the circadian rhythm and help your body heal your hormones, right? So this is something which was very important, and I want you guys to start working on this aspect of your life. So all of you are aware that what are your sleeping times, what are your wake up times. If you can change, if you can make a change starting with 1 hour, I think slowly and slowly synchronization according to the circadian rhythm will actually bring balance and helps you improve your overall well-being. The next very important factor is DB to DS. This is what I tell all my clients or all people who come across me. DB to DS. Whether you are stressed or not stressed, I won't say that, in this lifestyle, at some point of time, everyone gets stressed, right? So what is the one thing you have to remember? DB to DS. That is, you have to deep breathe to de-stress yourself, right? Because when you deep breathe, it actually releases endorphins in your body. And endorphins are known to be the happy chemicals. They help you relax, they help you be calm, and they can help you with high blood pressure, fast breathing, this heart rate, and this blood pressure, what happens is, it has been a study done that when the blood pressure was very high in some individuals, they were set to deep breathe for 5 to 10 minutes, right? And then their blood pressure dropped to 10 to 20 points. So we can well imagine the importance of deep breathing, right? So I think I am getting short of time right now, and I have reached my last slide also, right? So what are the takeaways from this webinar? Right nutrition is the need of the hour. Yes, we need to eat right to feel right, but it cannot work alone. Your body has to be in balance. Work on your gut health is very essential. Engage in regular physical activity. Limit the consumption of sugar and processed foods. DB to DS, right? Pay attention to your sleeping pattern and try to tune your body to nature's rhythm. And one most important thing, limit your screen time before bedtime, because that also helps to fall asleep early. Okay, so and also I am inviting you all guys for a 1 week health challenge about which I'll be posting on my social media. All healthy persons who are not suffering from any kind of health ailments can take up this challenge, right? And thank you all for being so nice listeners and sparing your time on Sunday to listen to this. I hope this helps you somehow and motivates you to, work for the betterment of your health. I think I'm open for queries now. If you have any question, feel free to write in the chat box.